So today's topic is a simple input and output. Okay, so what is the meaning of input and output? Means the functions which are required to input, means to store any value with the help of this command, are known as the input functions, and the functions which are required to get the data or to get the final output in the computer screen is used by certain functions which are known as output functions. Okay, one or two output functions which we have already done in our previous section, like the print statement, type statement, where we are getting certain output. Now we will discuss about the input statement first. Okay, so input is an function. This is a function which is used to get the input from the user, and using the some input value from the user, and using that value the computer will do its execution. Okay, for example, if you can see here the name and equal to input, what is in your what is your name. So what is the meaning of this? When you will execute this line, it will not give you any output, but it will wait for you to give the value. Okay, so as it is given here, it is on here name. When you will execute it, it will just give you this one, whatever you have written inside this input function. Okay, what is your name? Then you have to type any variable. So that one, after that it will be stored here. Okay, but till now it will not be printed. It will be stored where? In the name variable. Okay, so can you see this function program? So name equal to input, enter your name you will enter, and age you have entered. Now after that, when you will call the variable name, so it will give you the value simmer, which because you have typed simmer while executing, while running the program, and for the age it will give you the value 16. Okay, so let us see one example with this. For example, if I give the variable name x, so if I write here equal to input, sorry, we don't have to write using a capital letter x. I am writing, okay, let us write x with a small letter, or x you can write a capital letter also, because Python is a case sensitive. Capital X will take a different variable name and small x will take a different variable name. Okay, but this functions is written, whatever the case of this function should be written as it is. Okay, so mainly all the functions are written in a small letter only. So it will give you certain help here. See how you have to start and all. So everything, whatever you want to print while doing its execution, have to be written inside a double quotation or a single quotation. So I am writing here, enter a value. Okay, so see, as it is interpreter mode, after I click the enter mode, enter, so it is giving you the output. So it is giving you the output, enter a value. So when I will enter a value 6, don't give any space or anything here, because if you will enter space, then it will take the space also there. I will show you. So now if I asked for x, it will give you the value 6. Okay, so in interpreter mode, you don't have to always use the print command to get the output. If you type the variable name, it will give you the value of the variable. Okay, again if I write here y equal to input, enter a value. Okay, so after this I have given one, before ending I have given one colon, so that it will look good. Okay, now I will see here, I will enter one, now enter another some value, let it be 56. So when I enter here, if I press y, so it is giving 56. So this is a function of input function, okay, which is used to take the input from the user to do a function. Okay, how to do it in a script mode, this I will tell you. First of all, I can use one file, and I will do a summation of two numbers input by the user. Okay, we have previously done the summation of two number, which was already stored in the computer. Now the input, any value you can pass, and means you can give, and depending upon the value it will give you the result. Okay, now I am writing here x input, enter the first variable the first value. Okay, now it is not giving you the output because you are working in a script mode now. So y equal to input, enter the second value. Okay, now I can use another variable like z equal to x plus y. Now I will write here print the sum of the value. I will write in two ways and I will show you what is the okay r z. Okay, z. Like this also you can write, and another print statement I am writing so that you get the difference between them. The sum of the value what? X, comma, I have to use x, then again comma, and okay, and x and y, then again comma, r or is, okay, comma, j. So what will be the so when I will save my program and I will run it, you can see the difference between them. Input function. So I will run it, run module. Okay, enter the first value. I'm writing here 5. Enter the second value 6. So can you see the sum of the, okay, one thing is okay, it is giving here 556 and the sum of the value, can you get the difference between these two? Sum of the value is 50, this one I will explain. Okay, the sum of the value 5, x I have written, and 6 is 56. Why it is coming like this, you know, because whenever you type any value using the input function, it take it as a string. Even if you are typing integer, it will take it as a string. So how to convert it to integer? Simple. Before that we have to use another function int. Okay, so int will convert whatever you input here into an integer variable. Okay, again if I write here int, so in Python what happens when you do any type of summation using integer value, it will give you the addition. If it is a string value, it will just join these two value, which is known as concatenation. Okay, now you can run it and see what will happen. Enter the value 5, second value 6, 5 plus is 11, got it? So this is the function of input functions. So I have already explained you that to do any type of mathematical calculation, we have to convert the values which we type using the input function. Okay, so to convert into a numerical value, we have to use the function int, which I have already shown you. To convert into a float value, means a decimal value, we have to use the function float. Okay, and other than that, all the values are taken as a string. Okay, but if you will input here int and if you give the value as 17.5, it will give you an error because this value is not an integer value. You should input an integer value for that. Okay, again if you write this type of value like 17 in words, then also it will give you an error because 17 cannot be used for any type of operations. Okay, now again if you have written here float, but if you have written here 73.5.0, then also here it is giving an error because you are using two decimal points, so it is a wrong, the syntax is wrong here. Again if you write here 73%, here also it will give an error because here you have written the percent. Okay, so the value should be exactly in the integer or the float value. But what will happen if you use the float function and type an integer value? In that case, it will give you with a value, float value. For example, if you type 32, then it will give you a value 32.0. So let us see the example. For example, I have changed the same functions which you have used earlier. Here the first variable as float. Now I will run it and see what will happen. enter the first value. If I enter the first value, for example 34, enter the second value 67, for example. Can you see here the sum, it is coming in a float, because from this part the sum of the value, this second line I have written the sum of the value x and y is z. So x value you have input 34, but it is given here 34.0. Why? Because you have converted into the float. So whatever value you will type here, it will give you with dot 0 if it is an integer value, and if it is a float value, that value only it will give. And summation between float and a decimal number is always, numeric and a decimal number is always decimal. Okay, but if you use any integer function and type any float value, then in that case it will give you an error message. Like so, how? Again, if I will run it, the first value I have used as the float value, so 67.5 I have written. Second value integer, but if I write here 78.9, this is giving an error. Okay, what will happen if I enter 73.0? Let us see. Value 56.9. Okay, it will not give an error because you have used float. 70.0. Then also it is giving an error because you have used a point sign here and you are using the integer. So then also if you are thinking the 70.0 and 70 are same, then also it will give you an error because you have used a syntax of dot here. Okay, so these are some of the rules which you should follow while doing the input using the input function. Now when you will input some value using the input function, and the for example, can you see this code? Whatever you are entering here using the input function, it is storing the variable age. Now if I use this as age is an now 16 you have typed here, but it is not taking it as a numeric value because you do not use the in function here. So as I have told you, whatever you type using the input value function, it will take you as a string. So it is giving you, and when you want to do any type of calculation here, age plus 1, then it is giving you an error here. Okay, so what is error? Must be string, not int. So if you write here int age equals 16, and age, if you have given here 16, if you use the function type, you know the function which is used to see the data type of the function, it is giving an error. It is giving you the value type of the variable here. Okay, now how to read the numbers? To read the numbers you have to use the two other functions, int and float, so which I have already explained here. Possible errors when reading numeric values. What are possible errors you may occur? I think which I have already explained. So if I will enter these things, then it will give you these type of values, which is already explained here in the previous section. So if float input enter marks 73, float input enter marks, if you enter 73, then also it will give you the result as 73.0 when you will call the function call the variable marks. Okay, so even if you write 73 point or 73 like this, it will give you as a value 73.0. So output through print function you have already used from the very beginning. So print is a function which is used to give the output. Now what is a syntax? Syntax means what is a rule of using the print function. So this is a rule. First of all, the object which you want to print, okay, then it may be a string. If it is a string, you have to write inside double quotation. Then separator means what is the use of separator? Means in the object whatever string or number if you have used, if you want to use any type of separators for that, then you have to use separators equal to comma or separator string and, or you can also use and equal to slash and or and string, like this you can use. Okay, how? See here, print, if I write here print hello, it will just give a string. Print 17.5, it is a number. Print 3.14159 into r, it is giving you the result of some calculation depending upon the value of the r, which should be input first. All has to be, or the user has to give the value of the r first, then only you can perform this print statement. Here you can see I am. So these things I have written inside a double, here it is written inside a double quotation. 12 plus 5, here it will give you an what? the values. Then here all, again it is double quotation. So with a comma sign you are separating the string with a numeric values. Okay, so multiple comma separated expression. Now you can use this function example and can see the difference. The same thing. So certain things are there. For example, my name is Amit. My name is, this will print like this. Even if you are writing with a comma here, and but all are strings, that's why it will give you an value like this. Okay, but if you write here, you are not mentioning any separator here, that's why it will not give you any type of separator here. But if you write here at last, after this separator equal to dot dot dot, then after each and every comma it will give you a separator of dot dot dot. Okay, again here you have not used any separator, that's why it will not give you an error message. Or if you give slash, even if you don't write anything, by default it will be a slash n. Slash n means new line. So if I write here n equal to dollar, then what will happen, instead of going to the next line, it will give you in the same line after this dollar sign. Okay, so what is the use of this n? Means by default the n means after each and every print statement it will go to the next line. Okay, so with example I will just want to show you. Here in the interpreter mode only I am showing you. Now if I write here print hello world, okay, so it is giving a hello world. Okay, now if I write here print hello world, then give a comma and separator, separator equal to, if I give here dot dot dot, then also it is not showing you any type of changes here. Why? Because all these things you are writing inside the same string. The same thing if I write here print hello, then after this you give a comma, then again world, means comma will represent that they are two different strings. And if you want to separate this string with some dot dot or any type of character, you have to use the separator keyword for this, and you can see the output. Okay, now when you write two print statements together, what will happen? When you write two print statements together, what will happen? See, so I am writing here hello world. Okay, so if I will use two print statements together, can you see here I have written here print hello world. Again okay, in cell script mode I will show you, it will be more clear to you. Just copy this one. If I write here print hello world, again if I write here print welcome to world of Python. Okay, so what we will get if we will run it? Okay, it's giving an error messages because I have started with a double quotation and ended with a single quotation. So if I will run it, so the two lines are coming one after another. So by default when we will write two print statements, so all the lines will come one after another. Means by default the end, means end of every line is slash n. Slash n means, but just now I have explained you about the slash n. So slash n is used to represent that you are moving to the next line. Okay, slash n means moving to the next line. So here the AND is a keyword, separator is a keyword. See, this was the syntax here for the print statement. Wait a minute. This is a syntax. Means you can use a separator, you can use the AND. So separator you can use with this comma or quotation, and slash and by default, and you can use any type of string for it. Okay. So AND means how the print statement will be executed. By default it is always slash and means it will move to the new line. But if I don't want to move to the new line in between each and every print statement, then how we can do it? So let us check this one. Again, I'm using the script mode here. If I write here after the quotation and equal to only space, okay, means one tab, okay, or space I have given. So I will save it and I will run it. Okay, sorry, you have to keep one comma here after ending here, then you will run it. See, welcome to the hello world, welcome to the world of Python. So if I don't give any value here, by default again it will take slash, and if I write slash t, okay, what will happen? Just a minute. Sorry, I have not written equal to. Okay, I'm just writing here because after this you don't have any value, but instead of this I have to write it here. So I have to write here and equal to. If I give here in only one space, what will happen now? Hello world, welcome to the world of Python. Only one space is there between these two. Now if I use here slash n, what will happen? Slash n is by default, means if you don't give, it is just like the slash n only. So again, by giving also, what will happen? It is moving to the next line. If I use slash t, one step, I will run it. See, hello world, one tab position. So depending upon what character you give, and slash n is for new line, slash t is for the one tab, and slash n is by the default character. So you will have the separator for the different lines in Python. Okay. So here I have explained you how to initialize two or three variables together. Now you can print also two or three variables, a equal to a and equal to only this comma. So this print statement will print this value, but not in a new line, but with a space between them. Okay. So the reason for the above output is quite clear. Since there is an AND character given a space, the first will print and the second will print the same time. So here the name enthusiastic, print hello, and space, print name, print how do you find Python. So what will be the output here? It will first print, then it will print hello. Okay, name it is given, it will not print. So hello, then end, then name it will print here. So hello, it will not go to the new line, it will wait for one space, and then this one will be printed as you are calling the variable name. Okay, and after that this will be printed. Okay, that's all. This all was about input output. I hope you have understood. So if you will not have any doubt, you can ask me.